Everybody, there is now some breaking news from Congress surrounding infrastructure bills, unemployment benefits, and of course the fourth stimulus check. So be sure to stay until the end of this video, because I will be revealing the latest information surrounding the fourth stimulus payments. So you want to be sure to stay until the end to never miss out on the very important stimulus check news. Now, Joe Manchin has just said that he would not support the new infrastructure bill. And this is going to put a pause on our stimulus payments, everybody. This is kind of disappointing because I expected Joe Manchin to support the Democrats and send out more stimulus relief and help out American seniors. But unfortunately, everybody, Joe Manchin has said that Congress should pause talks on the $3.5 trillion package up until next year. What do you think about Joe Manchin, everybody? Is he holding back our stimulus checks? Tell me what you think in the comments below.
Every single tactic that we have, whether it is legislative, whether it is sleeping on the steps of the Capitol in order to secure protections. You know, the Supreme Court may have struck this down unjustly, but her leadership allowed 11 million people to be protected. Now,
Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez did announce that she has plans to introduce a new bill to extend unemployment assistance through next year. It is called the Extend Unemployment Assistance Act of 2021. And this bill would change the expiration date for the benefits from September 6th to February 2nd of 2022. And now Democratic leaders are attaching language to raise that ceiling to the must-pass government funding bill. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer have repeatedly called for the national spending limit to be increased. But Mitch McConnell, everybody, has argued that he will not support this bill. So folks, many Democrats and many Republicans are not seeing eye to eye. And this is causing the American people to suffer, and the American people not to receive the financial help they need. I believe that Congress must get the job done and help us out with a fourth stimulus check. If you guys agree, tell me in the comments below.
1 in every 6 renters in the United States facing eviction. Now, so often, and so many of us know what it's like to go home and try to flick on the lights at night and nothing turns on, or to have an eviction notice posted to your door.
Now, Pelosi and Schumer have also said that addressing debt limit is about meeting obligations that the government has already made. Furthermore, the administration warned last week that the Republican forced default could plunge the country into a recession. Now, Congress has until September 30th to pass legislation to avert a government shutdown. And now with a change.org petition that has collected more than 2.8 million signatures, Congress must send out a fourth stimulus check of $2,000 for adults and $1,000 for children on a monthly basis for the remainder of the crisis. The petition notes that the recovery has not reached many Americans and points to the need for immediate checks and recurring payments. Stimulus checks, folks, are definitely a necessity. Many Americans have not received the financial help that they need, so a fourth stimulus check must be sent out as soon as possible. If you guys agree, tell me in the comments below. Now, Democrats also braced for the toughest stretch yet of President Biden's agenda. House Democrats have wrapped up the bulk of committee work on a $3.5 trillion bill, which will extend our social benefits like Social Security. In the Ways and Means Committee, Democrats from wealthier parts of the country have balked when the tax package unveiled by Richard Neal did not hike the federal deduction for state and local taxes known as SALT. In 2017, the SALT benefit was restricted to $10,000, and Democrats are now demanding that the cap be lifted. Thank you for watching, everybody. Until next time, have a great day. If you have any more questions on this, then be sure to leave them in the comments below.
And the reason some of these issues are so under-discussed, I was just speaking with one of our leaders that you'll be hearing from in a few moments, Ms. Vivian Smith, that we are taught to internalize that as shame. We don't speak about these issues because we have been taught that an eviction notice at our door or turning on the lights when they're off is a result of an individual shortcoming. When we're talking about 1 in 6 renters in this country facing the street, 11 million people in the United States, that's more than the entire population of New York City, being evicted overnight, that is not an individual shortcoming, that is a systemic failure.
That's right.
And so when we talk about folks being kicked out in the street, it is not them who should be feeling shamed, it is this institution that should be feeling shame. And so we are here to right that wrong, to make that crooked path straight. Because evictions do not just affect the evicted. When you wake up in the morning and the person who is preparing your coffee this morning was sleeping in a car last night, does that make you safer?
No.
Does that make you more shielded from the pandemic? From a variant whose transmission could be as low as 5 to 10 seconds in order to transmit? When when our population is not yet vaccinated to the degree that it needs to be, we have to protect people's right to housing in the United States. We will feel the repercussions for years, if not decades to come, if we do not. And I also want to rectify some of the myths that are sometimes told about folks on the brink of eviction. The idea that there are so many jobs out there, why don't folks just get a job? People who are facing eviction are employed. But we live in a country where minimum wage does not pay rent in a single state in the United States of America. Telling someone to get a job when they're about to be evicted is to communicate that you're not living in this country at this time, not living in the same reality as most other people. We must institute this eviction moratorium. I'm so proud of Congresswoman Bush and Senator Warren for helping us lead the way on this. The Supreme Court said the administration does not have the authority to issue an eviction moratorium. So what are we going to do? Give them that authority.
That's right.
That's all we want to do. Have Congress give the administration the authority to institute a moratorium because it impacts our health. Housing is a primary indicator, social indicator of health. It makes us sicker when we are unhoused. It makes us healthier when we are. So with that, I want to thank you all. I want to thank all of our partners in this fight. And I'm so proud to introduce one of our newest freshmen for the New York delegation, doing us all so proud every day, along with Jamal Bowman, but Congressman Mondaire Jones.
We can make improvements to how we do consultations, and certainly they'll apply, and that part of that happens through conversations with members of his national security team, and we'll work to apply those moving forward.
Does he hold Jake Sullivan responsible for this?
He certainly doesn't hold anyone. He holds himself responsible, and certainly, though, he has a responsibility to talk to his team always about how we can best manage our diplomatic relationships, and that's what he does in any scenario.
One more small question on the meetings this afternoon. On the price tag, is the president still committed to the $3.5 trillion price tag, or does he believe now that more flexibility on that number is warranted?
Well, even before today or before this week, the president has always been open to negotiations and discussions, and knew that he was not going to be alone able to wave a magic wand and pass a proposal, right? So part of the objective today, while he's meeting with a range of members with a range of viewpoints, which we welcome, is to see where people are and work to see how we can get this across the finish line moving forward. What he's encouraged by is the fact that there is actually, I know we focus a lot, understandably, on areas of disagreement. There's a lot of agreement on lowering costs for American families, on making sure we're investing now in addressing the climate crisis, in making the tax system more fair. There's a lot of agreement on that. And it's a point where we need to figure out what the path forward is. The president's going to play a role in hopefully uniting people around the next steps. Go ahead.
Just to follow up again